Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you can all join me again today. Today's review is one that is one of the most requested reviews I've gotten. Next to Stargate SG-1, this one has been requested a lot. So I'm finally doing this complete series set review on Diagnosis Murder, the complete series on Blu Ray. And let me tell you, this one I've owned for a while, but I just haven't gotten around to doing a review on it, simply because I've had so many other things sent to me and things I've had to go through that I've been trying to get out as much as I can. So this is one that I've been excited to do for quite a while. I just haven't had the time until just now to do it. So we're going to be diving into going into the quality of it, and there's a lot of varying quality on this. Basically the regions, is it region locked, region free, all that good stuff. Audio, and we're going to cover everything that you need to know about this box set of the entire series. Now, for those of you that don't know much about Diagnosis Murder is very similar, in my opinion, to basically like Columbo and Murder, She Wrote, and in my opinion, it's a comedic mystery action adventure with some romance, basically comedic mystery series in my opinion, and I love it. I grew up watching this. It actually aired from 1993 to 2001, so it was on for a very long time. It actually has an entire 8 seasons, plus it had 5 TV movies, as well as a couple episodes in some spin-off series. And here's what's incredible. It's all contained in this box set. So that means when you buy this entire Blu-ray series of Diagnosis Murder, it includes the spin-off, for example, Jake and the Fat Man episode that was the original, basically, I call it a soft pilot that introduced Mark Sloan's character, who Dick Van Dyke is actually Mark Sloan, the doctor in the series. That's when they actually introduced Mark Sloan as the character. That's included in this set as well. So as one of the bonus features is you get the full Jake and the Fat Man episode. Then it also includes the pilot movies as well as all 5 movies throughout the series, even the ones that were after the series ended. So when you buy this entire box set, which it's a big box set, compared to like the Stargate SG-1 review I did recently, this box set is at least 30% bigger. SG-1 comes to about right here. So it's about a good almost over half of another SG-1 set. That's how big this box set is. But it's because it's a massive series. There's a massive amount of content in this series. So before we go into the cases themselves and what the set looks like, I did want to talk a little bit about the specs that are in this set. So it has 8,580 minutes of actual content to watch. That's a massive amount of content. Now, it does include all 178 episodes from the entire series, plus I said the 5 movies. So that's where they come up with the 8,580 minutes, which is massive amount of content to watch in this, especially because some of the seasons had 26 episodes per season, and on average each episode would range anywhere between 45 minutes up to 50, 52 minutes, things like that. So that gives you an idea of how much content is actually in this. Now, I will talk about, as far as the casing goes, the outside box on this. In case you can't see, I'll show you all the sides of the box here. So it has obviously Dr. Sloan, who's Dick Van Dyke, who's absolutely phenomenal in the series. And in case most of you didn't watch a lot of this or didn't know much about it, I can't imagine you not having heard about this series by now, because it was on for 8 seasons plus all those movies, that it's in syndication and just about everybody's seen it sometime. But Dick Van Dyke's phenomenal in it. After he did the Dick Van Dyke Show and several other projects he worked on, obviously he came up with the idea working with several other producers, and his son actually is one of the writers on it, Barry Van Dyke. And Barry Van Dyke plays Mark Sloan's son in the show as well, which I find funny because that's father and son in real life, and then in the show they play father and son. And his son's actually the detective in it. Great pairing. I loved both of them in it. I thought they were great. The series, if you like Columbo or any of those, you're going to love this show. What a classic 90s series. Just absolutely love it. So when you come to the back here, it does show again the picture of Mark Sloan. CBS actually worked with VEI to release this. So this is another VEI release on Blu-ray. And they actually gave them the content that then basically VEI did some slight tweaking to, which I'll get into a little later on the actual set itself. Then you come over this other side, talks about the show a little bit more, talking about all 8 seasons, 178 episodes, and then talks about some of the things in it, as well as basically who was in the show and a little bit about it. It is an Emmy Award-winning series by Dick Van Dyke. Great series. And then inside the cases here, each one is housed in an individual case, which I do like that when they release a TV show in a complete box set like this. that I can pull out one season at a time, take it to my room, watch it, put the other season back, go to the next season. I do like that when they do have them in individual cases. So bravo on that. I do like the cases on that. Now, there's your top of the case. It says diagnosis murder, and then there's your bottom. It does have some of the specs. But again, I will point this out in case any of you haven't noticed this. The specs that VEI puts on their Blu-rays is incorrect. That is listed on the box. What they did for the show is correct, but what they list on the box is not correct, and it never is. There has never been one VEI release that has had the correct data printed on the box set. So it says region 1 coded, and I will tell you this off the bat right now. This set is region free. So when it says region 1's a DVD code, so it doesn't apply anyways. There's a Blu-ray set, so they misprinted that anyways. But as some of the other VEI sets are, this set is also region free. I tested it on all 6 of my players. So my A, my B, my C player, all of them it worked on. So no matter where you live in the world, those of you that are watching this in the UK, those of you that are watching this Australia, Germany, doesn't matter, France, anywhere, this set is region free. So if you buy this and import this, you will be able to watch this on any Blu-ray player anywhere in the world. And I will have, as always, listed down in the description section below this video. As most of you that have watched this channel for a while know, I always post down there the Amazon link that takes you directly to buy this. That way you're not having to go out and search for it, and that makes it nice and easy. You click that description section, it opens up, links right there. Now, I will talk about the price of this just for a minute before we go into some more details on this. I bought this set when it was not on sale. When this set first came out several years ago, I paid $200 for this. This set is no longer $200, so let me tell you this much. Now it's a steal of a deal. It's about 117 bucks on average right now, which is a great price for the amount of content you get in this. And I'll get later on into my review score, which combines price, quality, everything like that. But I did just want to touch on the price of it so that way you kind of get an idea. A lot of you asked questions about that, so I did want to touch on. I bought it for $200, and at that time I think $200 was a little bit pricey. I do think the $117 was what they should have started at, and around the $120 mark. They didn't originally. Now it's a great deal for that, for the amount of content you're getting. So I do have something I want to cover real quick with all of you before we get into unboxing this box set and get into some more details on this set. So make sure you stick around here with me. I'm going to cover this real quick with all of you. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification right next to it. And give this video a thumbs up. Give this video a like. That way it lets everybody know that you enjoyed this video. It makes me feel better about making these videos when I see a lot of thumbs up. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button and the bell notification next to it. And as always, you can follow me on my Instagram or my Facebook, which is In Search of Physical Media. And that's both on Instagram and Facebook. I post a bunch of extra content on there. That way it kind of, if you just follow me on those, plus follow me on my YouTube channel, you get a bunch of different content just all about collecting physical media, which is what this channel is all about. I am constantly bringing out new content on all my platforms, so that way there's always something new for you to dive into and get a review on. So make sure to follow me on there. And as always, I will have all of the links for this posted down in the description section below this video. I'll have the complete box series set, as well as I'll have each season individually listed out. That way, if you want to buy them one season at a time, you can do that as well. And they will all be listed down in the description section below this video. All the Amazon links will be listed down there. That way it makes it nice and easy for you. So make sure you like, subscribe, click that bell notification, and then if you want to buy any of these, click the description section below and you can click on them right through there. All right, let's dive right back into this review. We've got a lot of exciting things to cover in this. All right, so coming back to the box set here now. On the outside here, it does have this thinner cardboard case over it. Now, I do like having a full outside box set, and I do like that. This is very thin, so I will tell you that much. When you get this box set, be careful with it. I tore mine, and you probably can't see on the corner here and on this corner. I tore my case when I first got it, taking it out of the box. I grabbed it by the box set, and the basically cases started sliding through the plastic because the plastic wasn't very thick that was on it, and then it tore it on this side. So just be careful, little tidbit there. Be careful when you take your box set out if you order this, because that's how it comes. Now, something else I did want to touch on. This is only available through Amazon, and I have that link below, which I did just touch on, that the Amazon links are below. So not meaning to repeat myself here, but I did want to point out, because a lot of people don't know this, this is only available through Amazon anymore. I don't know why, but VEI no longer sells it through their website. It's been basically taken off, and it's only an Amazon exclusive through the link that I have down below. So when you click on that, that's the only place you can buy it through anymore. The complete series set is through there. So that kind of gives you an idea that if you have a hard time finding it, that's the only link that's available for it, is the one I post down below. There isn't any other ones out there. So going into the box set here, on season 1, I'm going to take them out each individually and show you here as we go along. So I'm going to take out season 1 here. I'm going to set the box set off to the side while we talk about these. So here's your season 1, and I did want to cover on this when I was talking about the box set. It does have 27 Blu Ray discs in it. So it's a heavy amount of Blu Ray discs in it. And so that set is quite heavy. That's why I don't want to sit holding it the whole time. So in this case, this is a regular, just Blu Ray case. Has a nice Blu Ray logo on it. It says Blu Ray Double here, which I kind of thought was repetitive, but it is. It's Blu Ray here and Blu Ray here. Diagnosis Murder, all 19 episodes of season 1. Does have its artwork. Side here, VEI Diagnosis Murder season 1. And then on the back here, it has the same printing on the back that it has on basically each one of them. It does have different pictures on them, though. Each one does have a slightly different. It talks about the years that it ran and how long this set is 14 hours, 45 minutes. It does have each season, does have Dolby Digital 2.0 audio on it. So when it says Dolby Audio here, they didn't put the specifics, but it is Dolby Digital 2.0, and it sounds decent. It covered all the ranges across your stereo. It was not, I would say, a great surround sound mix, because you have to remember when this show aired from 1993 to 2001, they did not, because of it airing only on TV, did not have a great surround sound mix on it. So they've done a decent job expanding what they could, but it is still going to be a 2.0 stereo, that your stereo system is basically spreading out around the speakers. You're getting your center and then spread out, basically that 2.0. And it sounded decent for a show. And you got to remember, at that time, this is about the best you're going to get, especially because Diagnosis Murder, most people don't know this, Dick Van Dyke's talked about it tons of times in interviews. This show is basically canceled almost after every season. Heck, he even says sometimes in the middle of each season, he was told, oh, we're not going to renew it for the rest of the season. And then they come back and film another 6, 7 episodes, and they'd say, okay, well, now it's canceled again. So that is a little tidbit for most of you that don't know this is, it's amazing this series lasted for 8 seasons and 5 movies, because Dick Van Dyke said he was constantly on the edge of his seat waiting for it to be canceled. So this season did have Scott Baio in it, and that is something that, talking about what Dick Van Dyke was saying about it constantly being that it was renewed basically every 8 episodes. They never really got full season orders. Well, Scott Baio actually ended up leaving this show after a couple of seasons because of that fact. And that's one of those things a lot of people never understood, why Scott Baio didn't stay on the show. And it's simply because, if you remember, he was in Charles in Charge. Well, anyhow, it's because he didn't like the idea that they constantly were on the verge of getting canceled. And the show was a big hit with fans after it got replayed after it initially aired. It was odd because when it initially aired, it kind of didn't have that many people that watched it initially. And then over the summer, they re-aired those initial 8 episodes that were first filmed in this first season. And people really liked it. And they didn't watch it as much the first time, but then they really liked it when it was re-airing it. So that's when they renewed it. And they did that same thing throughout time. It seems like people liked it when it was re-aired, not when it initially played on TV. So that's a little tidbit of why Scott Baio left the show. And he just all of a sudden basically disappears. And it's because of the fact that he didn't want to be on the show because he didn't like that they didn't get like a 5-season order or 2-season. But nowadays he actually regrets it and talking about that he wishes he would have stayed on the show, because it ended up going on for 8 seasons, 178 episodes, and 5 TV movies. And that's a big deal in TV. So going into the case here, each one had some actually really nice art on the disc. And I will say this set that VEI did originally, I really thought they did a decent job with this release for all their cover art, individual cases, and then each of the discs have the discs numbered on them, and then it lists off the episodes that are going to appear on that disc. They're listed out. Obviously, some of the data like Region 1 doesn't apply. Dolby Audio, it is Dolby, like I said, 2.0, and then it has individual pictures on each one going through it. Now, I'm not going to pull out each disc. I will show you above, like I always do, showing you what the discs look like as we're going along. And then behind this, I'll show you this on this one. It has the same printing talking about, that's on the back of the case and on the back of the box, talking about the show, but it is a dual layered, basically inside cover art. And I did like that. That's just a little extra little bonus that they did add in that. So I did appreciate that. So, and throughout this series, there was numerous part 1 and part 2 episodes. Talking about season 1 while we're in this one though, I will say season 1 was my least favorite of the show. I really liked the show, but I really think the first season was probably its worst of the entire series. They really were trying to gain their footing because of that whole thing. Like I said, they'd film 8 episodes, they get canceled. Film 8 episodes, get canceled. They really had a hard time getting their footing until season 2 and on. So season 1, I felt, was a lot of very similar plot points in the episodes. So if you're debating on the series and you haven't seen it, you do need to get past series 1 and the show gets, I would say, 98-99% better than it was in season 1. I still like season 1, don't get me wrong, because I love the series in general now. I just thought season 1 was its weakest series. So if you're going to pick it up in individual seasons instead of buying into the complete box set like I'm reviewing, you want to just buy them one season at a time, just remember that season 1 is not the best season of the show. You stick it out, it gets so much better. Season 2 and on, the show gets 100 times better. Alright, season 2, different cover art here, obviously. All 22 episodes on season 2. Side spine, obviously, like I said, it uses different colors and things like that through each season case, which I did like. Then on the back here, it's got different pictures. Does talk about the show again, 17 hours, 4 minutes. Same type of typing here. And then on your inside, you're going to have, obviously, disc 1, disc 2, and disc 3. And same thing, it has the same printing behind the case here, just talking about the show a little bit more. So I did like that, and I did like how it lists off every episode that's on each disc individually with the seasons, with the number. So that way, if you kind of are trying to keep track of where you're at and you don't want to put the disc in as well, you can look right on the disc itself. It has them each listed out on it, which I did like. And each disc uses slightly different art on it, so it's always something a little different, which I appreciate that. And the discs are very nice looking. All right, season 3 here, all 18 episodes, different cover art. You got your side spine here, and then obviously you got your back here. 14 hours, 45 minutes. And then inside, you obviously got Dick Van Dyke, Mark Sloan, disc 1, all the episodes listed out. And like I talked about in this series, there was a lot of part 1, part 2 episodes, which made it really great. And if you like I said, Columbo, you're going to love this series. The quirkiness, the humor. I mean, Dick Van Dyke's phenomenal in it. His son, Barry Van Dyke's very great in it. So the show's great. And then obviously you have your other 2 discs here. All right, let's get to the next case here. Season 4. Now in Season 4, the cases change slightly. So some of these cases changed based on the amount of discs they had to fit in it. So in this one, there's 26 episodes. And that's where I said some of these seasons are really long. In Season 4, it did change to getting 26 episodes. Your front cover, and you can see how much thicker this is. This is about double the thickness of those cases I was just showing you. So that's simply because of the amount of discs they have to fit in here. Then again, it's got different cover art back here. 19 hours, 50 minutes. And then inside, this is where the case changed. So it's double stacked on both. Now, I was showing you those cases slightly before, and I took one of the discs out, and I probably should have talked about it then, but I didn't. It is housed in basically raised up Blu Ray cases that protect not only the disc below, and if you can kind of see it moves slightly because it's hovering above the plastic. Same thing on this. It holds it above so it doesn't get scratched. So I did appreciate that. The cases were very nice in this. I do really like VEI's cases, and these are a prime example of a nice case that keeps the disc from getting scratched. So it keeps the disc nice, housed above it. So all 4 discs are in here, and they're all kept from getting scratched. So even when it ships, yeah, it might sound like they're a little loose, but they're not. They're clicked in, they're solid. It's just that, and I'll show you here as I click this back in here. So it clicks in solid, but if you can see, there's a big gap between the discs. But Season 4 is 4 discs. All right, let's get to the next season. Season 5 here, again, different cover art. This one had 25 episodes. Again, it's a thicker case. And Season 5, different cover art on the back. 19 hours, it says, for this one. And then again, you're going to have same spine art, where inside it's got the same description with writing on it. And then inside here, it's got your 4 discs that hover above each other, just like the other cases were, with individual art listed on each one. Season 6 here, this one's all 22 episodes on this. This one is back to a skinnier case though. If you can see here, it is a skinny case, simply because it's missing that extra disc because it's only 22 episodes versus 26. So on this, different cover art. This one's 16 hours and 30 minutes. And then when you get inside here, it's got your 3 discs, same way they're housed. They click in nice and solid, and then they hover above each other. Season 7 here. Again, this is 24 episodes on this one. Different spine art. Different cover art back here. 18 hours and 10 minutes. And then when you open it up, you have your 3 discs here. And again, Each one is hovering above it, and I tried to get them all set up before I did this review so that the discs were all in the same order, like so it was easy. And as you can see, because they hover, they spin very easy. So that didn't work out. So, all right, let's get to the next case here. And getting to the last case here, this is Season 8, which is all 22 episodes of Season 8. It's another thick case on this, and there's a reason for that. Inside this case, it's 16 hours and 20 minutes of the season, but as you can see, there's a fourth disc up here. And this disc is your movies. So all your movies are contained in the final 8th season set, which is why it's thicker. It has 4 discs in it. All your movies are contained on the final disc here. So the pilot movie is on this disc. So when you start the series, a little tidbit of information. You need to come to Season 8 first, take the movie disc out, watch that first movie first, then start Season 1. And I didn't realize that until after I'd watched Season 1, and then I went back and I said, wait a minute, I was missing the pilot movie. It's in Season 8's case. So if you're going to buy these individually, and I have those listed below, the individual seasons listed out as well. So if you want to buy them individually instead of in one big set, you can do that. But it is a heck of a lot cheaper buying it as the complete box set for that like 117 roughly price point, 120 price point, versus each individual set. Because each individual set will run you between $15 all the way up to $30 a season. So if you add that up, you end up quite a bit more than if you buy them all together in a box set. But you can do it individually. If your budget only has a certain amount and you want to buy them individually, that's fine. Just beware that this season includes the actual movie. So if you buy Season 1 first, you're going to miss the actual pilot movie, which is on this disc in Season 8. So if you're going to buy them individually, maybe buy Season 8 and Season 1 together. And that way you can watch your movies, then watch Season 1, and then collect the rest as you go on. But that's a little bit of tidbit information that I didn't know when I started it. Had to find out after I watched Season 1 already and realized I hadn't seen that yet. So anyhow, that's included on there. And I did like how these cases were put together. Now, I'm going to cover a little bit of the quality of what you're going to see in this show. And this is probably what most of you are most curious about other than just the unboxing here. Now, Season 1 through basically halfway through Season 3, you're going to notice basically upscaled SD quality. It's slightly better than the DVDs were. Now, that is not the case for the rest of the series. Do I think you should buy the DVDs for the first few seasons and then the Blu-rays for the rest? No, because you're still getting a slight upgrade for the Blu-rays. Having them in one box set is a heck of a lot nicer than having some DVDs and some Blu-rays. And because Blu-rays don't scratch as easily, I will always suggest the Blu-ray set. So those first basically 2.5 seasons, you're going to see basically 5% better quality than what the DVDs had. It's a slight upscaled SD quality for those first 2.5 seasons of Diagnosis Murders. So Season 1 and Season 2 are what I'm talking about. You're going to see basically upscaled SD quality, 5% better than what you're going to see or would have seen on the DVDs. Audio quality is better because obviously it lets it breathe more by being on the Blu-ray, not over compressed. So the audio quality does sound way crisper, clearer, and cleaner than any of the DVD releases. Even the DVD releases by VEI, the audio on this is much clearer and cleaner. So that is an upgrade on Season 1 and 2 anyways. And I will show you above here what you're going to have on like Season 1 for the SD quality versus the later seasons. And there's a big difference. In your later seasons, once you get past Season 3, which let's say Season 3 somewhere in the 700p quality, you're going to get for Seasons 4 through Seasons 8, you're going to see basically close to a 1080p HD picture. It's not a full 1080p HD picture simply because the quality of the way this show was filmed and the way that CBS kept the film and finished the film, they did not have SD masters available for Seasons 1 through basically 3.5 is my understanding from everything that's been disclosed online. So those first 2.5 seasons, that's the best we're going to get, so I'm glad to own it in the set. But the later seasons, 3.5 on, it does look substantially better. I'm talking, I was surprised once I hit that 2.5 season mark and then I hit that 3.5, and you notice a big jump in quality. And it was like, wait a minute, did something happen here? I kind of like put the disc back, put the other episodes in, and I was like, wow, there is a big difference. So if you can see that above, I'm showing you several screenshots, and I'm going to show you one of Mark Sloan here, and one of Mark Sloan later on. Now, obviously, later on, he's way tanner. That is the way Mark Sloan was. He actually ended up tanning more and more, and so did his son as the season went on. You'll notice that Barry Van Dyke, his son, and Mark Sloan, Dick Van Dyke, they do get more and more tan as the series goes on, simply because the location was switched to Los Angeles where they were filming. So they were outside more and did get more tan in the series. So when you notice that, that is because originally in the first seasons, it was filmed partially in Canada, and then they switched to Los Angeles. So that kind of changes why their skin tone changed so much as well. That was actually what happened. So Dick Van Dyke is way tanner. That's not just them upscaling it and trying to increase the color saturation. He literally was. Him and his son got way tan in the later seasons because of being in Los Angeles. So as you see this, I'm showing you several screenshots here of the difference between the early seasons of what you're seeing with like Dick Van Dyke and Barry Van Dyke, his son here. And then obviously what Barry Van Dyke looks like later on in the series. The quality of the series gets close to 1080p HD in those later seasons, and it does look good. I was very surprised later on at how good it did start to look. It's not a remaster, it's not a full remaster, it's more like an upscale of HD quality, the best they could get it to by basically taking the 720p elements, the 10, and I would say it's 1080i elements that then they up-res to 1080p, and it looks good. It's got some decent skin depth, color saturation. You can see their basically hairs on their face more. There's much more detail and depth to the image. Whereas the original seasons, early seasons on those first 2 seasons, there wasn't much color depth to it. So it was a more, I would say, duller looking series at the time. Now the series isn't dull, but the colors were. Then you get to the later seasons, and man, if you can see some of these colors I'm showing you up here of the later seasons, the color depth, the color clarity, the sharpness in the image is so much better. I would say it's at least 85% better than what you saw in those early seasons. So if you start off buying them in individual seasons like this, and you buy season 1 and 2 or whatever the case is, just keep in mind the first couple seasons, the quality of it is much lower than what you're going to see as the seasons go on. So that's why I said if you're going to buy this show, I suggest buying it in the complete series set, because the value in what you're getting, it's well worth it. And then you also know that basically you're getting the whole series, and you can watch it from then on. Just understand the first couple seasons, if you get them and you put them in, you're like, I'm not super loving what I'm seeing for these first 2 seasons, the quality of the image. Just remember, it doesn't stay that way. It gets a whole lot better as the series goes on. And that seems to be par for the course for a lot of these older TV series that I've been noticing, especially ones that VEI releases, is because they don't do remasters of like Diagnosis Murder. It's basically an HD or SD upscale from the DVDs. That's where you're just noticing slight upgrades with an SD image. Whereas those later seasons that come along, like season 4 and on, you notice that the image actually, because it was filmed at a higher, and they were able to scan the elements that were given to them by CBS at a higher rate, which then makes it a more 1080p looking image, it does look substantially better. And I was surprised by that and thought the series was well worth it because of that. Because once I got past season 2 and noticed the image quality going steps above and then drastically increasing, it was well worth it for that reason. Now, other bonus features that are on this set. It does include the Jake and the Fat Man episode, like I talked about, that is the character introduction of Mark Sloan. So Dick Van Dyke is in that, and it introduces his character of Mark Sloan, which I call a soft pilot. So if you really want to watch this series in the order it should be watched, I would watch the Jake and the Fat Man episode that is included in this set. Watch that first. Then go to season 8, watch the pilot movie that's in season 8 on that basically movie disc. Then start season 1. And then you're going to be in the correct order for how this series should be watched. So I hope that helps you, because I didn't know that originally. And so I've watched them basically going back and watching Jake and the Fat Man that's on there. But if you watch them in that order, you will get the series in the correct order. It does include also just a random bonus episode from Mannix, which was another like mystery type comedy, almost mystery series, if you've ever seen that. I do like that, and I have it up there behind me if you can see that right up there. I do have Mannix as well, but that is not on Blu-ray. That's the DVD set. It does have it on the Blu-ray set here. One episode, it's the Little Girl Lost episode, and that was just thrown in as an extra bonus. I did like that there's just an extra episode of Mannix on Blu-ray. It doesn't look any better than what the DVDs do, though. So it doesn't look better, but it was nice having it on there. Talking about the TV movies here for a minute here. Now, the TV movies, the first 3 movies are SD upscaled. So that means you're looking at probably around a 500p type image when they upscale it. And I'm giving you just a rough idea. It's not 420p like a DVD. It does look better, but only slightly. So that's where I'm saying maybe it's a 500p, somewhere around there upscale. But it's slightly upscaled. So they're SD upscaled, the first 3 TV movies. So even when you start watching the TV movies, remember, because they were early on, they're the SD because that's all the quality that exists of this show. Then, once you get to those final 2 TV movies that were at the end of the series, those are full 1080p and they look very good, just like the later on of the series. So, keep in mind, when I said that there's varying quality throughout the series, I've been showing you screenshots above of the series as we've been going along. These ones have been early on of the series, and these ones have been later on in the series after it changes to the 1080p quality. So that's where you'll notice there is a drastic difference between that first 2.5 seasons to the later seasons. Same things with the movies. Now, as I did mention, the set is region free. For those of you that actually buy this outside of the country, you can buy this, import this. This is the only Blu-ray set of Diagnosis Murder that exists anywhere in the world. So you buy this set anywhere, you can import it, watch it, have no issues with it. All 8 seasons plus 5 TV movies, and it looks pretty darn good. And in this series, there is no subtitles. So that means throughout the series, there was no subtitles included. So those of you that want subtitles, there isn't any. You're literally just getting the series with the Dolby Digital 2.0 audio, no subtitles included. So that was a slight downgrade that they didn't include subtitles, but it's still amazing to have the entire series in one box set. For this review score, I love Diagnosis Murder. It's one of those guilty pleasure, just sitting down, watching a lighthearted comedic. If you like the Dick Van Dyke Show, if you like Murder, She Wrote, you like Columbo, you like Mannix, if you like Matlock, any of those murder, mystery, and this one's more comedic than some of those are, but it's just a great show to add to your collection. And this is the only way to own it on Blu-ray, and I'm very glad to own this show because it's very hard to find on TV anymore. And a lot of people complain because a lot of streaming services don't even carry this. So like I have said before, being a collector, having the entire series with all of the movies, the Jake and the Fat Man episode, the bonus episode of Mannix, I really love this collection. And it's one of my favorite collections that my wife and I, when we want to go to something that we don't want something intense, but we want something entertaining, lighthearted, and Dick Van Dyke's great in it, his son's great in it. There's numerous other actors and guest actors that show up in it, and it's just great. I mean, heck, Matlock, the character of Matlock, actually shows up in this show as well. Just to let you know, there's so many shows that this ties to, and it actually has a hidden episode with the character of Dick Van Dyke from the Dick Van Dyke Show, that they actually have an episode that ties back to that, which I thought was great as well. So I do love this series. Because of the cost being around $117 now, my score did go a little bit higher because it's not as much as I paid originally. I thought at $200 it was a little pricey for it not being a full HD remaster, but this show is going to get an 8.2 review score from me, and that's a great score. This set is well worth it. I do like the show. I think as collectors, this is one you're going to want to add to your collection because a complete TV series like this, you can't go wrong with. There's so much content, so much to watch and enjoy out of this show, and it's region free. At the $117, $120 price point, it is well worth it now for 8 seasons. And I said 8,580 minutes of watch time is just massive. I mean, that is so much watch time. It's going to take you a long time to go through this. And even if you watch an episode here or there, it's well worth it to add to your collection. And I love the box set. So I think it's worth adding as a box set to your collection for sure. 8.2 is a great score for this. It got slightly over, obviously, what the Sliders did, which was just basically a slight SD upscale as well. This is not a SD upscale for the later seasons, so that's why it's got a much higher review score. 8.2 is a great review score. I'd recommend picking this up, especially if you're a fan of the show. You don't want to miss out on this collection because compared to the DVDs, when you get to these later seasons from 3.5 on, which there's a ton of content that's almost basically 1080p HD. It's well worth it and it looks great later on. And especially if you're a fan of this show, you're going to want to add this to your collection. Let me know what you thought about this collection. If you were excited about this, I know I got requested this for a long time. I've probably had easily 300 requests to do this review, so I finally did it this week. I've been trying to get around to the ones that are requested very highly, and this is one that you guys have requested a ton. And those of you that have been requesting this, I hope you're excited that I finally did the review on this set, and I think that it's worth it, and I think you're going to want to add this to your collection. Especially if you've picked up, there's another VI review I did of Stargate SG-1. Stargate SG-1 was more of a slight remaster, tweaking, upscale kind of mixture altogether. And that one's obviously a newer show than Diagnosis Murder was. So they had a lot more that they could work with on that. So that does look slightly better than Diagnosis Murder does, but Diagnosis Murder in the later seasons still does look pretty decent. And I'm glad to add it to my collection. Now, it does come obviously with the black bars on the side because of how this was filmed. It's not widescreen. It's going to be just like what you're talking about, your 4x3, where it's got the black bars on the side and the images in the center, which is just the way it was filmed. They didn't mess with it. They didn't edit the image down. They didn't crop it, try to stretch it. It's all the original image, which is why I said 8.2 for this review score is a great score. They left it the way it should be, as well as there is film grain in it. So what that means is they did not DNR this set like they did with the SG-1 set. SG-1 had heavy DNR. This set does not. So you will notice film grain throughout it because of how it was filmed. There is natural film grain in it. So that's again why it got an 8.2 from me, because it did retain that natural film grain and they left that in there. So let me know what you think about this. If you're going to pick this set up, let me know if you're excited about this show and if you really enjoyed Diagnosis Murder. I really enjoy it. My wife enjoys it. Guys and gals, all of you will love this show, especially if you like murder mystery shows. It's a really great show to get into, and every week it had something entertaining and exciting coming from it, and there's so much content in the show to dive into. It's one of my favorite Blu Ray collections, and I will tell you that Amazon link down there is the only way to buy it. I don't know why, but every other retailer stopped selling them. They're not available anymore except through the Amazon link I posted down below. That's where that link is. That's the only place to buy it from. So let me know what you thought about this review. If you're excited to pick this one up, and if you're going to pick up this set, I love Diagnosis Murder, and let me know if you love the show as well. I had a great time doing this one, and I was really excited to get this one out. I just have so many that I've been trying to do for all of you. I only have so much time, and if you guys really love the content I'm releasing, please consider going down, if you're going to buy it through that description section below. That does help support the channel, and that makes it so I can come out with more and more of these reviews. So if you really love the channel and you love what I'm bringing and the content I'm reviewing, make sure to go down there, click that description section below and buy it through there, because it does help support me at no cost to you. So let me know what you think about this, if you're excited to pick this up. I had a great time doing this one today, and I love to hear from all of you in the comment section below. So those of you that have been asking me to do this review, both guys and gals, make sure to let me know that you're excited that I finally did this, because I went out there and I took my time to go through and do this for you. As always, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, especially because you've been waiting for this one for such a long time. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up for me. Click that subscribe button down there and the bell notification next to it. That way you get notified every single time I release one of these reviews. I've had a great time, and I hope you've had a great time as well. I hope all of you have a blessed day, and I look forward to the time we get to do this again real soon.